Hey everybody, it's Chris back with another review for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. Today I'm going to be reviewing a canned beer, but it's a variety that I don't normally go for, so I'm a little on the fence on this one. I'm always happy to see a beer in a can, but I'm not particularly a fan of Hefeweizens or wheat ales, listen to me. Um, However, when I saw the Full Sail Blood Orange Wheat Ale in a can for $1.79, I said, well, I got to give it a shot. Got to see how things are going. I'm still kind of riding the high of triannuary, even though we're halfway into the month of March now. And the idea of trying new things and trying things you normally wouldn't, and getting past your comfort zone. And so I thought, all right, let's give this a shot. This does have a canned on date, but I'm going to show you. I don't know whether you can see. Yeah, there we go. See, you can see the canned, but not the date. So I have no idea what the canned on date was. Valiant effort though for trying. Got to hand them that. Full Sail. At least they put it on there. This has 5.2 ABV, which actually puts it a little towards the higher end of wheat ales. Wheat ales average between 4 and 5.5 for an ABV. And between 50 and 30 IBUs. This has 30 IBUs. Of course, it has a blood orange juice, orange element to it. So of course the IBUs are going to be brought up. Now I did go to Untapped and I saw that 8 of my friends have given this a cumulative score of 3.69, and so far 12,000 of us have given it a score of 3.65, meaning that it's, at least my interpretation of that, is that it's good but not exceptional. Full Sail is out of Hood River, Oregon, so they're one of those many Oregon brewers you come across. So anyway, I think I've covered all of that. $1.79 for a 12-ounce can with a 5.2 ABV and 30 IBUs. Canned on date, but we can't see it, so, hats off to him for that one as well. Going to be using my wit glass. Now, I've been looking into it, and it appears as though sometimes wit appears meaning for the German word white, so white beers, wit beers. But apparently, I want to say it's a Slavic language, like it's either Czech or something like that, where wit is actually the word for one of the words for wheat. And there's speculation that this was actually for wheat beer as opposed to white beer. Anyway, I'm going to be using it for my wheat beer, and let's see how this blood orange pours. This should be an interesting color, I hope. And it is not, but that's okay. That doesn't mean it's not going to be a good beer. It just means it's not quite the robust color that I was expecting. And once this gets a second to settle, we're going to look and see. Okay, I'm going to describe that as definitely high carbonation. Not just medium high, but high. Uh, and, sorry. Um, as is to be expected, and I looked up, I went to BJCP, double checked on the characteristics of a wheat ale because it's not a variety that I normally go for. However, I was raised on Boulevard unfiltered wheat, and that is probably one of my favorite beers. So, what are you gonna do? Anyway, one of the characteristics that's typical of a wheat beer is a big, resilient white head, and boy, is that the case or not. I mean, that ain't going nowhere. Um, of course, wheat beers are sort of grainy, they're bready, they're kind of biscuity because you got a high preponderance of wheat. So, now that I've gone blah, 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 blah long enough, let's get to drinking, shall we? Cheers. Well, I can taste the blood oranges, that's for sure. Mm, hmm. Okay, now that it's settling on my tongue a little bit, I'm getting kind of malty, really more dry than more malt than wheat. Still still a preponderance of malt. I like the blood orange because it's just in the background. I don't know if you've ever actually had a blood orange or just had blood orange flavored stuff, or maybe you've never even had anything blood orange flavored, but it is a very distinct flavor. It's a sweetness that you don't normally find in oranges. There's a tartness you don't normally find in oranges. I mean, blood oranges are really their own entity. When I was in Italy back in 1983, We had blood oranges for breakfast as well as orange juice, and it's I tell you, you could get used to it really quickly. Oh well, I can understand why the Italians use so much of it. I got something in the glass. This has, as you would expect, and is typical of the variety. I'm going to describe it as a medium-high mouthfeel. There's a spikiness. There's almost no alcohol burn, but there's a spikiness in the mouthfeel, and I think that has a lot to do with the blood oranges. Um, so, I never really did put this to a check of a bouquet. Okay, now that as I inhale and I've had a few sips and I never really took in the bouquet, that's kind of funny, isn't it, that I wouldn't do that? But I smell the oranges more than anything. The truth of the matter is, I taste the oranges and I smell the oranges more than anything. And as somebody who's not a big fan of the wheat beer varieties, um, I don't normally like that banana or rubber bands or clove that you get from most wheat beers. I'm not crazy about that, but this is really more in tune with the oranges itself, the blood oranges, and therefore makes a pretty good beer. Um, yeah, it's kind of rare for me to give one this high, but I'm going to go ahead and give this a 3.75 because it I would have given it a 3.5, but it arrived in a can, so it's going to get a 3.75. I'm starting to think that maybe I'm being a little too generous with some of my scores lately, but um, no, it's anyway. But I'm still going to give this a 3.75. These guys have been around since 1987, so hopefully they know what they're doing. They seem to with this particular beer and other beers that I've had from Full Sail I've enjoyed. So, until next time, drink good beer, don't break the bank doing it, and cheers.